Hello gentlemen and gentle ladies, my name is Sir Stanger, and today we're going to be talking about something that I think we've all had on our minds a bit lately, and that's many of the different issues that Team Fortress 2 currently has going for it that may or may not be able to be fixed. That's right, today, me, Sir Stanger, that guy who's known for his general positivity towards Team Fortress 2, is going to talk about the various issues that he believes is going on. And by he, I mean me, and hopefully you will listen. Couple little disclaimers before we get going, though. This is obviously all my opinion, so I might list off something that you don't consider to be a big deal or an issue at all. Perhaps you think it's a great part of the game, but for me, these are all issues that I believe the game is currently facing. Also, these aren't being listed in any sort of specific order, just kind of the ones that I think are a big problem. So, if you think for some reason that I'm going in any sort of order as to which one I think is most potent, you're wrong, and shut up. So, yep, let's get into it. Now, let's just go ahead and get the low-hanging fruit out of the way right now, and just go ahead and cover probably the most obvious one, in my opinion. And that would be the terrible matchmaking that Team Fortress 2 tends to have at the moment. The footage you're seeing right now in the background took me hours to get, and I'll tell you why. Because this is the first game that I was able to find that actually started from the beginning, and not somewhere right at the end, which is where I keep getting put into games, like right as my team is about to lose or win. I understand that the matchmaking system is trying to find players to balance out games and make it so if one team has less players, they can pull some more players who are searching to help kind of balance that game a little bit. But why is it always me? Is it always just me? Am I the only one here? Please, I feel like it can't just be me here. I get that it's mostly a luck thing and that it really just kind of depends on the day and how the gods decide that day that you're going to end up going into a certain game, but man, I've just been really unlucky lately, and it has been very frustrating just trying to find a game of casual to play. I don't particularly have an answer to this one because I understand both sides of the argument, both trying to keep the system the way that it is and trying to improve it so that you don't get added onto games right at the end. But, you know, I feel like somebody out there who's a lot smarter than me might be able to think of something. Like, maybe nobody can join a game in the last, 30 seconds or something like that, or maybe even in the middle of a map change, because I can't even tell you how many games I've joined that just end the moment that you can't even pick a class if the game just ends, and that has happened to me way more times than I can even say. And, hey, speaking of casual mode, casual mode just kind of feels like it's not finished, doesn't it? Like there was a lot of almost really cool ideas that went into it, but never really saw the light of day, and it's maybe in the process of happening, that back at Valve where we can't see anything that's happening, but it's not right in front of us, so for all we know, it doesn't exist. Now, when I say that it feels incomplete, I mean that for a whole lot of reasons. Like, take the ranking system, for instance. It feels like it was put there as some sort of incentive to get you to continue playing casual, when there really is no incentive to continue playing casual other than to gain experience and to get these little medals. Now, I know some people that's probably enough, but for me, I'd like a little something more. Now, I love TF2 enough to just keep playing it all by itself, but this is not an incentive for, at least in my eyes, anyone. And this kind of sucks, because I actually kind of like casual as it is, and I do think it's better than the original matchmaking system that we had before, which was none. You just kind of jumped into a server and you played TF2. Valve servers felt very much like community servers in that way, in that they just kind of kept on going forever and ever and ever. And there was nothing wrong with that, but now we have some sort of structure to our games. We have the matchmaking system trying its best, but ultimately failing to make balanced games, and you're allowed to kind of party up with your own friends and play on the same team, which is something you really couldn't guarantee you would do before. You could guarantee you'd be on the same server, but the same team? Good fucking luck. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only person who feels like casual mode lacks incentive, and this kind of goes for competitive as well. Either one of them don't really give you any sort of reason to continue to try and gain ranks in them. They just sort of give you ranks, and that's it. And I know everyone has their own ideas as to how to handle that particular problem. Mine involves something of an in-game currency system. I would like to see something in the way of gold like Overwatch has, in which you could go to the Manco store and spend in-game currency you gain on hats or cosmetics or taunts, various other items. And these particular items would only be available to get in this particular manner. So you wouldn't be able to say, trade them or buy them just straight for money. you'd have to get them through this currency system, kind of giving a little bit more value to each of these items, and maybe also giving a bit more of an incentive for community makers to continue making stuff and putting it on the Steam Workshop, so we can get just more hats and cool shit in the game. In my personal opinion, this would be the best way to go about adding new items and incentives for playing the game while not totally ruining the market as we know it today, seeing as TF2 has its own in-game economy that would be pretty much destroyed if hats were just available for free to anyone who played the game enough. I wouldn't even mind seeing specific unusual effects available only this way, but, you know, that's getting a little deeper into it than I'd like to right now. Okay, now I know this one has happened to you. No matter how good or bad you are at this game, there have been a lot of games recently where you just join in and either your team doesn't need your help and they're totally demolishing the enemy team, or your team needs all the help they can get and they don't have a prayer in the world. One-sided games aren't really fun for anybody. They might be for that one asshole in the corner who just likes to see as many people die as he possibly can, but to me, it's not a whole lot of fun unless both teams are giving it their all and everyone kind of has an equal chance of winning. When my team is being destroyed, I'm not having any fun because there's nothing to do, basically. You're just losing really hard and there's not really much to do about it. You're only one guy and you can only do so much. When your team is absolutely slaughtering the other team, there's even less to do because your whole team is winning without you, and what purpose do you have at that point? In any case, it does feel like it's been a bit more frequent that we've had one team that's really good and one team that's really bad, and that's just been the way casual is right now. And don't you even get me started on the bad players right now. Look, there's a lot of new people playing Team Fortress 2 recently. I kind of called it with my Overwatch Save TF2 video that there's going to be a lot more people playing the game that were new, and I feel like for the most part I was right about that. But the one thing I hadn't really considered is how many new players that would bring to the game and how many of those players would have absolutely no idea what's going on. Now, I just want to clarify that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you being new to this game and not knowing how to play it, and in fact, I don't blame you in the slightest, because the real issue here is the fact that Team Fortress 2 doesn't do dick to teach you how to play it. Be honest with me, if you've played this game for any length of time, you've probably played the tutorial at least once, and you know it's garbage. It doesn't teach you anything about this game and how to play it, especially its, you know, finer nuances and all the different techniques that you can do. It doesn't even teach you about the damn game modes. So while I'm not trying to sit here saying that new players are a problem, I am saying that because we have so many new players and the game does so little to teach them how to play the game, they're a lot worse than they would be if they had even a basic knowledge of how Team Fortress 2 functions. And if you're a new player watching this video, congratulations, you're watching Team Fortress 2 on YouTube, you're already better than half of the newbies that are in the game right now. So congratulations on putting in that kind of effort anyway. And as a quick side note for all you not new players, come on guys, let's be a little nicer to the new guys. I know that they suck at the game, and I know they're kind of hard to deal with, but you know what, just give them a chance. You were there at one point too. I too was a free-to-play once. The only real solution I can find to this problem is to simply redo the tutorial for Team Fortress 2 and, you know, make something maybe a little bit more in-depth, which I may or may not have a little side project going on right now that's maybe dealing with something very similar to that, but that's something for another date. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Beyond that, though, the only real solution that we have here is just to try and be as nice to new players as we can, and if they have questions, do your best to answer them. If you know the answer to a question, you know, definitely go out of your way. Try and see if you can help out a new player, because, I mean, you would have needed to know this at some point. Eventually, you asked this question or looked it up, so, you know, help a brother out. Okay, so I can really appreciate the fact that Valve is trying to modernize Team Fortress 2 a little bit and add a competitive mode, but they kind of gone about it the whole wrong way, and things have gone very, very messy very fast. Now, personally, I've actually enjoyed the comp mode games that I've played quite a bit. They've been a lot of fun, you know, with the exception of all the ones with hackers in it, and there are a lot of ones with hackers in it, let me tell you. And I do feel like the next logical step for Team Fortress 2 to take is to try and make its next steps into an esport, because that's really the way that modern games are going these days. And yeah, Team Fortress 2, it does have the mechanics to become an esport. I believe it's perfectly viable to go that direction, just not the way that it's going right now. Uncle Dane actually went through and made an excellent review of the competitive mode a little while back, and I'm gonna leave a link to that down in the description. If you haven't checked it out, I would definitely suggest doing so. It does a really good job comprehensively taking a look at the competitive mode, seeing what it has and doesn't have, and what it probably needs. So yeah, definitely go check that out. It's a bit long, but it's definitely worth the watch, so I'd highly suggest it. By now, it's no secret that Valve doesn't have that many people working on Team Fortress 2. Just about every single person who plays the game knows it, and we've kind of come to accept it. That doesn't make it less of an issue. You see, I feel like the people who are working on Team Fortress 2 right now do have a pretty good passion for it. I feel like they care about the game, and they want to see it grow, and they want to see it thrive, and they're doing their best to try and make that a reality. The issue is they just don't have the manpower to make that a reality. And I think this is why we're seeing the rise of so many community updates lately, because they just don't have the time to go through and make all these new hats and these new models for every single update. That's why they're turning to the community. They're turning to us to help them out, because they just don't have the people to do it. This is why it also takes so long for new content to come out and to get to us, because they just don't have the people in order to make it in any sort of decent amount of time. I'm sure they're trying their best not to rush things and to make sure that when it comes out it works, but there's only so much that they can do. The thing that sucks the most about this problem is that there's really not anything we can do about it. From the sounds of things, this is just the way it's going to be for a good long time until Valve eventually decides to shift some resources around, and I don't see them doing that anytime soon. All we can really do is just be patient and try our best to just not get too hyped about the next update or when it's going to be, because we don't actually know until the development team tells us, which is a pretty good segue to my last point. The development team for Team Fortress 2 isn't telling us shit. I think we as a community for Team Fortress 2 would be a lot more forgiving for the fact that we are not getting as many updates and such like that if the development team would just kind of talk to us and let us know what's going on. You know, the different difficulties that they're having, why it is things are taking so long. If they were just to talk to us, I don't think it would be nearly as big of a problem. The problem is they're not telling us anything, so they're just kind of letting our imaginations run wild as to when the next update's going to be and what it's going to have in it. And a lot of the times we're wrong. And I'd say, when I say a lot of the times, I mean like basically every single fucking time, because I don't think we've ever been right as to what's going to be in the next update. And honestly, I feel like if the TF2 dev team just opened up like a Twitter or just went on Reddit every now and again and just kind of let us know what was going on, just a little update as to how the next update's going or when we might be able to expect it, or, you know, what's holding it up, that would definitely improve things. I think the community would be much more patient if we even had some sort of clue as to when things are going to be happening or why it is we don't know when it's going to happen yet. But anyway, guys, those are just my opinions on the big problems that Team Fortress 2 has right now. I know that there's some other ones like, you know, weapon balancing and, you know, various game bugs and such like that I didn't cover in this video. And if you have another one that you think that I missed, please let me know down in the comment section. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think is wrong with the game right now, because I know I must have missed some stuff. Like, this feels like way too short of a list. And also, guys, don't get me wrong, I'm still really positive about the future of Team Fortress 2. I think the game is going in a pretty good direction overall, and I'm just really hyped to see, you know, what the Pyro update holds and what the future of TF2 holds in general. I think it's a wonderful game, and I'm gonna keep playing it regardless because the gameplay itself is enough to keep bringing me back. So yeah, guys, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you guys think these are the biggest problems that Team Fortress 2 is facing? Do you have solutions for them? Do you think you could fix them? Definitely let me know. I'd be very interested to read them, and I'm definitely going to. And with that, let's keep the internet classy. I'll see you then. Hello, my name is Sir Stanger. Hello, my name is Sir Stanger. Hello, my name is Sir Stanger. Hello,
can I have the attention of the internet?
My name
for 1 second?
My name is Sir Stanger.